Alright, so welcome back. Today we're going to go over descaling the van. Here's some of the items we're going to need to be able to do that. First we need a 5-gallon bucket, fresh and clean, no debris in there. It's a nice new bucket. Some descaler. This is what we have in Columbus available to us. As you can see, it's a very low pH, 1.6. It's also very dangerous, so you're going to make sure you want to read all the instructions and all the safety things for that. With the safety, these are some of the items you're going to want to have. A little dust mask, some rubber gloves, safety glasses, and then I'm going to use a temp gauge so I can check my heat after I'm done. Now the reason why we wanted to scale these vans is because over time, when we run chemical through it, you'll start to get a buildup and it'll look something like this. As you can see, the passageway is pretty narrow. There's a lot of bad stuff in there that just built up, and it'll start to affect your pressure, your heat. It'll start to clog your wand. It'll start to clog the inline filter that's inside of your wands right in here. And we just don't want that to happen. We don't want to break down our vans on the day. This is what your inside of your parts should be looking like. All right, so that's a nice clean fitting. That's one that obviously needed to be descaled a long time ago, and it was a little neglected. So we're gonna go over mixing it. This one here, I'm going to use about half of it. Usually you'll use the whole thing up. I'm going to use about half. We descale ours pretty frequently, so we don't need to use a whole bunch to get it where we need it. But pretty much you should be doing this about every 3 to 6 months just to keep your machine running properly. Go over it. So that's about half there, and then I'm going to use the hot water to mix it up. So all the branches have slightly different truck mounts. This one here is our White Magic 1200. There's a couple of those out, but and the connections are going to be a little bit different. What we're going to want to do is shut off the water source, which is right here in this van. So I'm going to need to shut that valve here. Now that that's closed off, our dump tank won't empty out on us, and then we'll need to disconnect this line. This is the line that feeds into the truck mount. Disconnect that. You see no water's pouring out. If this was left open, as you can see, the water would come shooting out. So get this line. We're gonna need to bring it around to us. So what we're gonna do, we got our bucket of solution here. We took that line that we disconnected from the clean water tank. It's sitting in there. You want it to go to the bottom because that's gonna start sucking up all the water, and you don't want to start sucking up air. You also want to take your solution line and stick it in there too. So we want to clear out this whole system. So what I'm gonna do is turn it on. I'm gonna run solution through here too. After that, we're going to give it about 15 minutes to dwell out, and then we'll go through clearing out the system. We're going to run this through just to get it through the system circulating. You'll start to notice it because it'll start shooting out white foam. And then I'm going to put it into this bucket so you can see what kind of stuff comes out of there and gets stuck in there. Alright, so now that that's through the system, you can see it goes to work pretty quickly. That's all stuff that will clog up your jets, will affect your cleaning, affect your heat, quite a bit of different things it does. So we're going to let that set for about 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll start the process. Alright, so we've been about 15-20 minutes has passed. I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to use this to start draining it out more and filtering it out. Put it back in the bucket, and you'll see that some more stuff will start shooting out here. This is a good time. You see your manifolds here with all the buildup. It's a good time to get that cleaned off and get it back to where it's a nice stainless look. You'll start to see these will turn back to a nice crispy brass look. all the sediment that was in there. That water should be clear, and clearly it's not. You want to make sure, sometimes you run out of water, that's going to suck a little air, so it may take a few minutes to get it to bleed all the air out of it first. So now we're going to hook it back up to the clear water, and we're going to run that through the system. Line hook back up, we've got the valve turned back on. I'm going to turn the machine on, start running clear water through it. You want to run the clear water through all of your lines, your solution line, your feed, all that, and make sure you get all that stuff out of there before you use your truck again. Water's much more clear now. You might get a little bit of sediment coming out, that's okay. If it still keeps coming out black, then you need to do the process all over again. Make sure we get it nice and clear, back to good standing. With the manifolds here, you'll see these are in much better condition now. Anything that's left, the sediment buildup, can easily come off with a steel wire brush, so just take a little bit of time, get those nice and clean on your downtime. And that's it.